All right, welcome back to the 12th episode of Bullpen Talk. I'm here with my co-host Noah Spiegel, and we have two special guests, two kids I grew up with. But I wanted to start off this podcast with a quote I found this morning from Nick Saban that kind of reminded me of these two kids. So Coach Nick Saban says, "We all have a choice. We can choose to be bad, average, good, excellent, or elite." He also says that being good is probably God's expectation for whatever ability He gave us. But if you want to be an excellent or elite, it takes something more. It takes discipline, sacrifice, consistency, and a commitment to doing the little things right every single day. So today I'd like to introduce the Foley brothers, and in my opinion, two kids I've seen that embodied this idea of being elite. John was a walk-on lacrosse player at Hampden-Sydney, and then Will was also a lacrosse walk-on, but also plays football there as well. So welcome to the pod, boys.
Thanks for having
Thanks.
us, man.
Thanks for having us, Chris. Nice
Yeah,
to
no
see you
problem,
guys.
man. So let's jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you got going on, and just kind of your story.
You
You
can
want me to
start
start?
going.
Yeah. All right, yeah, so I didn't really look anywhere else for college. I mean, once I got into Hampden-Sydney, I knew I was going there. I knew it was a place for me right away. And I went there initially with the intention of walking on my freshman year, but then I got sick, I got mono, and I was out for basically 3 months, and I couldn't participate with the team at all. And so I stayed in touch with the coaches and the teammates and the team in general. And then my sophomore year, I was able to walk on. They gave me a chance, and I played well. And now I'm going into my senior year and excited for the season. We have a good team, and I'm playing with my brother, so we're back reunited, which is awesome.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, so my story is a little different. So after, in high school, I didn't really want to play a sport in college. I was still looking at Hampton City to play, but it wasn't a spot where I was expecting to play a sport. I thought I was just going to go there and be a student. But I had a good junior year in high school, and I wanted to give it a shot. So Hampton City reached out to me prior to that, and I was like kind of pushing it to the side. I didn't really want to fully commit to something that I didn't know I wanted to do. So after that season, I knew I wanted to play. Um, and it was even better because my grandfather played at Hampton Sydney College, and he graduated in 1966. And so yeah, I committed there for football. I had no intentions of playing lacrosse at all. I was kind of done with it after high school. I didn't find that much uh, enjoyment out of the sport anymore. But through John's help and him kind of persuading me and convincing me, I decided to give it a shot, and I had some of the most fun I've had, ever. So I'm so glad for that opportunity to be able to play with him yet again after playing with him in high school. It was pretty special. Sharing the first game we shared the field was a pretty cool moment.
We had the great Sam Sowles on our podcast a week ago, and he talked a lot about grit. And both of y'all seem to have that. John, you walked on playing lacrosse, and Will, you walked on lacrosse, but you're also a dual sport athlete. Can you talk about how you guys have both kind of persevered through your challenges throughout your athletic careers?
A lot of that comes from I think my mom. I'll give a lot of credit to. She played field hockey at Georgetown, and I think her athletic ability and her ability to be gritty and grind through the hard times was taught to both me and Will growing up, and I think that it goes a long way and it's carried with us throughout our college experiences.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think from a young age, being the youngest of four, I was always getting picked on, always smaller than everyone. Like anytime I hung out with John, his friends would make fun of me, like just be absolute assholes. And then I hated it. I despised it. But now, like looking back on it, like kind of shaped me into the person who I am. And so I think that's where my like grittiness and toughness comes from, is from being able to handle that adversity and channeling it into improving myself instead of just like taking it and just taking the blows and not returning anything. But yeah, so I mean it is tough, but I think, at the Division 3 level, I wouldn't say it's not as serious, but more people are more laid back. So I think for me, if I played one sport, the whole season, in the during the season and then the off season, I would hate it. Like I can't do something for that long without like having some regret of like choosing having some regret on why I did it. So I think splitting it up and playing football one season and then playing lacrosse another really helps me like appreciate the other sport more. Like, dang, I really miss football. I miss hanging out with like those guys. But I'm also happy because I'm hanging out with new guys on the lacrosse team that, I'm making these new connections that I mean, these guys are great dudes. So I think that was definitely one big challenge this year. Because in the off season for football, like since we have so many guys that there was these teams and they would compete against each other and missing out on that kind of I feel like I missed some of the bonding that they created in the off season. And same thing for lacrosse, like I was going into the lacrosse season not knowing a soul on the team besides my brother and some other kids I knew from high school. So that was definitely a challenge just being the new kid on block. It was kind of tough to adapt, but after a little bit, and I mean I knew some of the kids, but after being with them for a week or two, like I kind of got in the groove and it was good from there. But that was definitely a big challenge I faced.
And I want to kind of talk about y'all's school, all guys school in Virginia. Historically, a great school produces like great people, especially in our community. You see a lot of people we grew up with, parents went there, and you kind of talked about that like relaxed, I guess vibe you get at the D3 school. How has that allowed you to become not only a better person, better athlete, but just like a better man in general? Because a lot of schools don't really have that, across the country of like you're walking away with a solid degree, but you're also walking away with becoming a better person. So like, how did you experience that at Hampden-Sydney or are experiencing it?
Yeah, Hampden is definitely a very special place. Um, there's only about 1,200 total guys at the whole school, all men, like you said, in Farmville, Virginia, kind of the middle of nowhere. Um, but I think the D3, uh, like you said, vibe, is definitely for me. I knew it right away, right when I got there. Like I'm able to balance my academic life, my like social life, and my fraternity life, and also being a part of the lacrosse team, like all at once. And I think it's good. One, leadership skills, but also life skills, being able to and having to learn how to balance all these different things at once. Um, and at a place like Hampden-Sydney, they make it really easy for you, like you said, those connections are all very, very genuine. Like all these people you meet are very, very good people. And you can just tell like when you meet someone that it's going to go a long way and that connection is going to be there for life. Um, but yeah, I mean, the school's older than the nation itself, founded in 1775. So we've been around forever, and we're going to continue to produce great people and great citizens, I hope.
Yeah, I agree with everything about that, and I think where it starts, like where that foundation comes from, is being an all guys school with only 1,200 students. The classes are 20, 15, 20, 30 people max. We don't have these big lecture halls. This is the academic side. We don't have these big lecture halls where there's 400 kids. You don't know a single name of who's in your class. So I think starting at the core, like the classes itself, is how these students and these men really create that space and environment for like having that laid back vibe, like you said, and then having trust. Like our teachers just leave the classroom whenever. Like they during a test, they'll leave the classroom. That builds trust between the community and between each other. And so I think that's the foundation, that's the core, that's the rock of, our school is that trust and dependency that you have on another person to do the right thing. So I think that's why we produce good men and good citizens because of that core foundation of just a simple thing, just a simple classroom with 15 guys where everyone trusts each other. Um, But yeah, I mean, and like John said, you can balance everything super easily. Like you're hanging out with the same guys in the classroom that you play sports with, and if those guys don't play sports, they're still good dudes in the social life and fraternity life and whatnot. And so everyone's hanging out with each other, and it's really fun just like getting to see that. Like you can literally just walk to anywhere, you can walk by anyone, you might know their name, and you just say, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And they'll give you a wave back, they'll give you a nod back. Everyone's walking around with no phone sometimes, but like there people are just so interactive and nice, and so
Yeah. I think
yeah.
that's a rare thing. I feel like across the country. Um, like me and Will know everyone at our school, at least by face, so having that bond with pretty much the entire school, you feel like you're really part of it. And I think that goes a long way.
And I would just say that about Division 3 schools in general. Obviously,
Yeah,
I played ball for 1 year at Swanee. It was the same
totally.
thing, man. It's like you see these people, you respect them, and you're like you said in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's where Swanee was, but it's like forces you to
Oh yeah.
interact with these people. And a lot of my friends are doing very well from themselves because it obviously sets you up for success. And Spiegel, you have another question for them?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say playing sports is obviously like a pretty serious thing. You got to take it serious. I played JV basketball in eighth grade. Um, but off the field, I want to hear the funniest moment that you guys each have had throughout your athletic careers. It can be something mid-game or like in practice where you just like you couldn't take it serious.
Might be back to JO days, Foley, John.
Yeah, yeah. How far can we go back
It
here?
can as far back.
Anything?
Yeah.
Oh. Uh, I'll
I mean,
say
yeah,
a pretty
you
funny
go, John.
moment was JV football. I think we had won a game winner last minute. I forget it who against, but we won the game. It was a great game. Like 20 each team scored 20, 30 points, but we barely snuck it out. And we celebrated like total idiots. We threw our helmets in the air, acted like we just won the whole Super Bowl. Next day at practice, our coach comes out steaming hot and makes us just hold our helmets above our heads and run back and forth until we basically puked. That taught me to respect my gear a little bit more in every sport and respect the opponent. Win or lose, you got to act like you've been there before. And it wasn't really funny in the moment, but looking back, it was pretty funny.
I think that was Woodbury too. I mean, that was nuts.
Yeah,
A cool
that
game,
was
man.
nuts.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably just this is very isn't very specific, but my whole sophomore year football, Jack yourself, you're walking around with a cast, just like getting the guys hype all the time, just like banging people's heads with your broken hand. Danya just getting people hype. Shout out to Danya. You're the man, you're funny as shit, dude. But yeah, so that I would just say that whole season was funny. Like literally every day in practice, it was high school football. Like it was laid back. People are just messing with each other. Like our coach is like super like hard ass, but everyone's just like, check out this guy. Like, like all right, dude. But no, I mean I love the coach, but yeah, and I would say probably one of the funniest moments of my athletic career was I don't know, I think it was probably my sophomore year lacrosse. Danya Patel was playing lacrosse, and it was his first time playing in a while, right? And our goal for the season was or our objective for the season was to have him score, get Danya a goal, man, and he did it, and he did it proudly, and he got hype after, and everyone on the sidelines going crazy, punching each other, screaming Danya, and that was probably it was a very heartwarming moment, but it was also very funny because uh we were playing a pretty poor team, and it was pretty bad how excited we got because the score was already like 20-3, and Danya scores the 21st goal, and we're going berserk on the sideline. So our coach wasn't too happy about that, but it was a good time.
Yeah, man, looking back at it, I feel bad for our coaches, man. They were trying to do their job, like helping us out, doing a really good thing for us, and we're just
Yeah.
messing around. But I want to talk about, you guys call it the game when you play Randolph-Macon. So I want to hear, John, your perspective from the other side of it as a fan, because obviously you're on the football team, and then Will, um, I guess you've played away and you've played home. Wait, have you played home yet?
No, just
Okay,
away.
just
Home
away.
this year.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, how was that? How was that game like? Not only been like, this is really cool and this is what Hampden-Sydney has to offer, but like what it means to you guys at school. I remember going like in 10th grade. I mean, unreal environment, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the oldest small school rivalry in the South. That's what they call it. Yeah, man, the game's awesome. It's always our last game of the regular season. I'm pretty sure I think next year will be the 156, something like that
Dude,
game.
I don't know.
We played it's since 1893. I know that was the first one. And I think the overall record is like 58-11. Bad guys. But
No, not that bad. It's not that bad. Wait, I'm gonna look it up because I don't believe that.
um but yeah, the game I mean it's a game where all the alumni show up, hundreds, thousands of alumni show up just for this game. And I mean the students too, like we have this area to the end of the at the end of the track, like the track around the football field, there's like this hill that all the students would line up on and drink and play games and pregame the game, and the environment there is just electric, every Saturday, but that weekend specifically, it's always a little extra special. Seeing all the people you've met years prior and alumni that you're meeting for the first time, making connections. Um, Even though we haven't had the most successful couple years, the past few years, um, the game's always going to be circled on my calendar for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, to correct your point, John, Hampden-Sydney leads the all-time football series against Randolph-Macon, holding a 60-59-11 record. So we got one game on them. But yeah, so being on the team, playing against that game, like I didn't really expect it to be that crazy. I heard for the past like few years they've been giving us belt. They've been kicking our ass like no one's business ever since they got their new head coach. He runs things well over there. But yeah, I mean the environment and the atmosphere, you're waking up if you're on the team, you got to wake up at like 7:30, 8, start heading to the facility, and people are already like setting up for tailgates and pregame. So you're walking to the facility, and people are like, "Let's go!" Like fuck Macon, like getting super hyped, like hyping you up, and you're just sitting there like trying to stay locked in, trying to stay cool. But like these guys are like really getting after it at like that early in the morning. And it just shows how much these alumni and these current students care. Um, but yeah, like I said, we've had poor outcomes the past few years, but we just got a new head coach 2 seasons ago, and I think he's going to turn things around for us. And with the recruiting, with the schemes, with everything, I think for the future years, I think we're going to be able to hold our own, and maybe take it to him a little bit. But yeah, just and you could tell the week leading up to Randolph Macon, nothing else mattered. Everything was F Macon, we're not going to let them embarrass us this year. Well, it happened, but you just practice a little harder, you give a little more effort, you hold someone else more accountable, and so I think that's the hype around the game, and that's what the game brings out is the accountability and the perseverance and the pushing of one another.
So Jack and I are building a career development platform for student athletes. I'm wondering for both of y'all, what fields are you guys interested in and want to go into after school? And do you guys have a mentor professionally that's kind of helped you throughout your process of trying to get internships and jobs?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I could start, John, if you need to think about this. So, I mean, only being a freshman, this is what I or just finished my freshman year, but the only thing like I've really been studying right now is, some core classes and business econ is what I want to go into, something along those lines. I don't know exactly yet. I'm still young. I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, so this summer, I got back on Sunday. I was over in London. I did the London School of Economics. I took a class there, I took like a marketing class, which translates to a business class for me back at school. Um, and that was a really cool experience. I've never been to Europe, so that was really sick. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have like a mentor really looking out for me, mainly because I don't really exactly know like what field I want to go into. And so I'm thinking my mom's family friend works at Brown Advisory, like investment center or something like that. I think that's what it's called. And they take like the top 5% of the world and take their money and invest it in the stock market and then take a portion of the returns. So they deal with the uber wealthy, uber rich. And so my mom said that uh, the husband, Mr. Shoemaker, would like to have me to shadow him, which would be a pretty cool experience up in Baltimore, which would be really cool, but that's still kind of TBD. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. But
Yeah, mine's a little different. I'm a history major and a visual arts minor at Hampden-Sydney, and I got one more year left, so I'm started to narrow it down a little bit. I thought about, being a teacher slash coach somewhere. I think that would be really, really cool, and I think I would, enjoy it, and I think be pretty good at it. Uh, if not, maybe just work for my mom's roofing company. It's like a family business, 5 generations, since 1910. Uh, my brother and I actually are working there now, doing grunt work on the roof, just
Yeah.
being a laborers. But
Pretty stuff, man.
yeah, it's
yeah, it is gritty, man. That goes
yeah,
into it.
gotta
Yeah.
Goes into
stay
the
in shape
business.
Blue
for
collar.
sure. But
Yeah.
guys like my high school basketball coach, Eric Acra, has been terrific at reaching out, uh, giving me connections to Hampden-Sydney alumni, Norfolk Academy alumni, all sorts of people. And the same with my college lacrosse coach, Jay Rostan. He's a phenomenal guy, and I mean, his dad was a coach for 40 years, and now he's been there for almost 10 now. And so he knows all the alumni of Hampden Lacrosse for the past 40 years, in his back pocket, basically. He always tells me that. He's like, they're in my back pocket. And so I really appreciate that. And I don't know, I'm excited to see where I go next and what avenues open up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and you guys obviously your story seems like you guys are both a bit of underdogs, but you're not. You've both been excelling, your whole life. Great students, great athletes, and great people as well. I'm one of your guys' friends. I grew up with you, and I'm glad to see you're doing well. But this question's kind of towards John. So John, like as you're a senior and you develop like since freshman year to the man you are today, your little brother's right there. It's like if you had one thing to tell somebody, a student athlete that's younger than you to like pursue something, not only like becoming, a better man, so pursuing your purpose that I can say you have done, and I bet you agree with that too.
Hmm.
And also like becoming a better athlete. So, I mean, your brother's right there. I know it's on the spot. He's younger than you. It's a little big brother advice here, but at the same time, like to the viewers as well, like what is something that, you would say to them?
I would just say, be where your feet are, like every day, just stack a new block, stack another brick. It's gonna add up eventually, right? Like, I know, like at a smaller school, it's or wherever you are, it can be hard at times to, see where you're gonna end up, and you're wondering what's next and how you're gonna do, and there's a lot of stress, in life in general. And I think, just be where your feet are, like whatever space you're in at the moment, just do your 100% best to be what's it called?
Present.
Be present, be useful, like just be nice to people, talk to everyone you see, because that's where those connections come from, and at the end of the day, it's you can work as hard as you want, but if you're not a good person, it's not going to come back to you. What goes around comes around. I mean, it's just the truth of life. I think if you're always present, and you want to inflict, good vibes on people, and be someone else wants to hang out with, like you just gotta be able to talk to people straight up and be honest. I think that's key.
Solid. And then for Will too, being that younger guy and being able to look up at John and see what he's done. Like what are you like as you're, gonna be a senior one day, so 2 years from now, like what are you trying to do to become that better person and pursue, your overall purpose, both as an athlete and then as an individual as well?
Yeah, so athletically, just seeing like how hard my brother works like every day, he's waking up at 5, coming home at 6, doing this tough manual labor. Like I just this translates to athletics because I know someone else is waking up at 5 to do a workout for football, to run for football, to do conditioning. And so knowing athletically that someone else is working harder than you, it pushes me to work even harder. So there's always that one person out there that's lifting more than you, that's running more than you, that's doing more drills than you. And so I think that's one thing that pushes me to exceed athletically. And as an individual, like John said, everything's about being a good person. Like you could be the smartest guy in the room, you could be the toughest, strongest guy in the room, but if you're a complete jerk and think if your ego's too high, then no one's really gonna want to like hang out with you, like give a helping hand when you need it. Because they remember how you treated them, and then they'll be like, no, like screw you, like you didn't help me when I was down. You were just being mean. But now it's like, so I think it's important to just be kind to everyone, say hello to everyone, and just make those connections from an early start.
Yeah. I think that's great. To finish this off on a serious note, who's winning in a fight between both of y'all?
Yeah, so if you were to ask that, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, I would say 5 years ago and below, like John's got it, but now I would kick his ass.
What you got to say?
Depends. Are we in a cage, MMA? Are we boxing?
Is
What
this is this guerrilla style, guerrilla warfare,
Yeah.
like
gorilla
where you
style?
just, oh, dude, no, 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 not that, not that. Because then
Yeah, I
John,
think I'd get him on that. If we were both as mad as humanly possible and like actually wanted to kill each other, life or death, I'd probably take him.
yeah, like he'd pick me to kill you, I know. No, but yeah, on a serious note, John's good at hitting me and then running away and hiding from me. So he's kind of guerrilla warfare tactic. He just hits and runs, hit and
What
run,
you got
hit
to
and
do
run.
sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you can't. But if we're in an octagon, man, flying knee to your face, break your skull is what would happen.
And
Yeah.
to wrap this up, last question for both of you guys. Why D3 and why Hampden-Sydney?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll start here. So um, a big part was because John was there, and a bunch of Norfolk Academy kids, and so I thought like it'd be cool to stay in touch with them and go to that school, and I knew the environment from visiting John. Like I've been there, I visited it multiple times. It's a beautiful campus. We've got a lot of acres, and just like it may be in the middle of nowhere, but like you could tell like it's a good time, and then the people are also super nice. And another reason for D3 just to play sports was probably my grandfather. He's the one that owns the roofing company that's on its fifth generation right now. But yeah, just him playing and graduating in 1966, I thought like I could somewhat continue his legacy in a way, playing football, playing on the same field he played on, playing against the same teams he played against, walking the same paths he walked. Like I just thought that was so cool in my mind, like just being able to share that with him. So that was the main reason.
Yeah, for me, I mean, coming out of high school, I knew I wanted to go to a smaller school. Just smaller class sizes, better connections with the professors is what I was used to. And so I think that style of academics fit me really, really well. I was able to kind of glide right into Hampden-Sydney's academics. Um, and then the lacrosse part, obviously. Um, when I was a senior in high school, a freshman on the Hampton lacrosse team. His name was Ben Legal. He graduated at Norfolk Academy the year before, and after his first year at Hampton, he had passed away, and so that wasn't the only reason, but it definitely propelled me to go that way and want to play lacrosse, um, and join the fraternity that he was in, just because of the people that, were really close to him. When I first got there on my visiting tour, he showed me around and showed me, basically made me meet all the guys and give them a good handshake and introduce myself. And then ever since that day, I knew it was the place for me. Um, and it's been nothing but beautiful things ever since.
Yeah, and appreciate y'all boys getting on this podcast. It was awesome, and wish you the best. Fully enjoyed your senior year, man. Crept up on us, and then Will, man, keep doing what you're doing, bro. You're killing it, and have a good football season, and hopefully you guys win the game this year. It's been
Let's go. Thanks, man. Thanks for
a
having
Thanks,
us.
Jack. Thanks,
no
Noah. Appreciate
problem.
y'all.
Yeah,
Thanks, Noah. Appreciate you
yeah, nice
guys.
meeting y'all.
Nice
Yeah,
meeting you as well.
well.